Hey there, everybody. Thanks for all the engagement. This question comes from Richie B over at Dickie B Photography on Instagram. One of his questions was, how do you stay focused on one project until its completion before jumping? Now, this is a doozy. Now, being able to stay focused, it can be a difficult thing. Number one, for me, totally am ADHD. So completely diagnosed, not something that I baked up. I would find myself literally in an exam, not due to being tired, would totally fall asleep. Would find myself literally in some very serious like industry, needed to pass these exams, studied a ton for them, and literally would have the hardest time staying focused. Ended up seeing someone, got some meds, really like like they're not stimulants. I take them occasionally. So note that if that's like an issue of yours, like you have some mental health things to deal with, that's another story, right? So let's just put that out there. But this is something that I struggle with from day one when it comes to business, and that's just being able to make sure that whatever I start, I get all the way done. And so one of the tough things here, Richie, is that if you think about it, a lot of projects that we start, they don't actually can get done in a second, right? Like some people, they like that feeling of going into their emails because they can get it all the way down to zero. They can get all those unread messages down to zero. However, that's a zero sum game from a standpoint that the next day it's back again, right? And the next day it's back again. So there's no value. Emotionally, it feels good, right, to get rid of all those unread emails, but there's no value long term in that because it only makes you feel good that day, and the next day you have to hit that project all over again. I'd unsubscribe to as many emails as possible, and for me, unfortunately, I headline read, so it doesn't. I think I have like 750, 800 emails unread, but it's all just junk. So there's no value for me to take hours to go through it and clean it up. Anyway, so when it comes to other projects, right, that are of utmost importance, I think about, hey, if let's say I'm trying to help a client accomplish a specific, let's say I'm not in marketing, but let's go down that thought process and a marketing goal, right? So we're going to create a video of content with them, and then we're going to deploy it on different platforms. Maybe even deploy it on TV or some kind of. We're going to post it somewhere. So the first thing in that project, right, is we want to break it down. So it's basically that old adage: how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So literally start with, okay, what's the end goal of this project? What do we want to do for this company from a marketing perspective? And then we reverse engineer that. We just take it down bite size. And then being realistic with the timeline, saying, okay, what needs to get done each day? And so this is one of the things that I think if you're very analytical, if you're more process driven, if you're more detail oriented, you know how to put in those different timelines. However, if you aren't, you might want to partner up with someone and make sure that those deadlines get hit. I know for me, and I hate meetings, and so I understand like the need to not, or the desire not to do this. But for me, because with staff, and then I partner up with a lot of other financial advisors to accomplish our goals, we have regular meetings. And regular, I mean, for us, it's typically weekly. Now, regular might be for somebody else bi-weekly. It might mean every other day. It just depends. Understand your cadence, understand the quickness and the urgency of what needs to get done. And so in those meetings, what we'll do is it's agenda driven. So it'll literally say, okay, what cases did you work on last week? What cases are you working on this week? Everyone that's in the process, right? That's applied. Where are they at? Give us an update. And then what are we going to do from a futuristic standpoint? What's our planning in the next 90 days? So we kind of have like this report back what happened, what's going on today, this week that needs to get accomplished, kind of the more urgent. And then based on what we've done in the past, are we still hot and heavy? Are we still running hard? And then finally, in the next 90 days, are we ready to maneuver and push our practice in that empty space, in those other opportunities that we think are really going to be the areas of opportunity. That's a very difficult one, though, for me personally, is because I'm not a detail-oriented person. I'm very much a big picture person. I can sit down with clients. I can get a lot of new clients in, and then I can close them. I have no desire to do the small details. So what I've done, Richie, is I've partnered up with other advisors, and I'll give them 20% of the case, and they'll start running all those small details. And I let the client know, just so you know, I'm going to help you continue to service you. But when it comes to the details of paperwork, following up on junk, that's going to be one of my partners here. So-and-so is going to help you out. And that really helps me stay on pace, that meeting, and then what's that? Delegating what doesn't need to be, what isn't my strength. Now, for some people, I think about like, for you in different projects, maybe especially in photography, you might not have that opportunity to delegate. And so it really becomes writing it down and making sure that it doesn't get lost. Or if you can keep it all together mentally, okay, what different projects have to get done, and then let's start breaking it down week by week, day by day, making sure that you're hitting certain timelines to move those projects forward, and that'll help you slowly take away a bite out of those big chunks. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day, everybody.